Hello my wonderful viewers, welcome back to World Tour. Today, we're diving into a topic that's often shrouded in complexity: countries where Americans are not welcome in 2024. Whether it's due to political tensions, historical conflicts, or cultural misunderstandings, there are nations that, for various reasons, have grown wary of US citizens. Let's explore the why behind it, looking at both history and current circumstances. These are 10 countries where Americans are not welcome in 2024, reasons and history behind. Number 1, North Korea. This secretive, isolated nation has a long-standing history of tension with the United States. Since the Korean War in the 1950s, North Korea has viewed the US as a hostile power. Today, Americans are banned from entering due to the risk of detainment. The tragic case of Otto Warmbier in 2017 further solidified this ban, as North Korea's hostile stance towards the US remains unwavering. Number 2, Iran, a country with deep political and historical reasons for its cold relationship with the US following the 1979 Iranian Revolution and the hostage crisis at the US Embassy. Relations have never recovered. US sanctions and political maneuvering have continued to fuel animosity. While some adventurous travelers may sneak in with caution, Iran generally discourages and tightly controls the entry of American citizens. Number 3, Venezuela. Venezuela has been embroiled in political and economic turmoil for years, with US sanctions and political interference being significant sore points. The Venezuelan government, under Nicolás Maduro, accuses the US of trying to destabilize the country, and relations remain frosty. Due to rising tensions, Americans face increased scrutiny, and many are outright advised to avoid traveling there. Number 4, Syria. War-torn Syria remains a hotbed of conflict, with a deep-seated hostility towards Western involvement, particularly from the US following years of civil war and US military involvement. The Syrian government under Bashar al-Assad views American citizens with distrust. Security risks, including kidnappings and violence, make Syria a no-go zone for Americans in 2024. Number 5, Libya. Libya has been in chaos since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. The country's instability and internal power struggles make it a dangerous destination, particularly for Americans. US involvement in the NATO-led intervention during the Civil War is still a sore point, and various factions operating in the region are hostile towards American citizens. Number 6, Yemen. Yemen is currently experiencing one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world. American citizens are discouraged from traveling due to ongoing conflict and severe animosity towards US involvement in Middle Eastern affairs. The civil war, compounded by Saudi-led airstrikes and US support for Saudi Arabia, has created deep resentment, making it unsafe for Americans. Number 7, Cuba. Cuba's relationship with the US has been tumultuous since the Cuban Revolution in 1959. While the Obama administration made strides toward normalization, recent political shifts have seen a tightening of restrictions once again. Travel for Americans is limited and heavily regulated, and the political narrative in Cuba continues to paint the US as an adversary, especially after decades of embargoes and sanctions. Number 8, Afghanistan. Since the US military withdrawal in 2021 and the Taliban's return to power, Afghanistan has become extremely dangerous for American citizens. The Taliban government views the US with disdain after years of war and occupation, and kidnappings or worse could await any Americans venturing there. Number 9, Russia. Russia's once popular tourist destinations are now largely off-limits to Americans due to the ongoing conflict with Ukraine and the growing tension between Russia and the US since the start of the 2022 invasion of Ukraine. Diplomatic relations have been strained, with increasing animosity on both sides. American travelers in Russia face scrutiny, restrictions, and potential danger, making it an unwelcoming destination. Number 10, Belarus. Belarus, an ally of Russia, has aligned itself with anti-Western policies and is hostile to American visitors. Since the controversial re-election of President Alexander Lukashenko and the subsequent crackdown on dissent, Belarus has distanced itself from Western countries, particularly the US. As a result, Americans are not only discouraged but might face hostility if they visit. Number 11. Nicaragua. Nicaragua has seen growing authoritarianism under President Daniel Ortega, leading to strained US relations. The Nicaraguan government accuses the US of supporting opposition groups, leading to an atmosphere of hostility towards Americans. With increased surveillance and unpredictable treatment of US visitors, Nicaragua has become less welcoming to Americans. Number 12. Pakistan. Pakistan's relationship with the US has been marked by years of cooperation and tension, especially in the post-9/11 era. With growing anti-American sentiment due to US drone strikes, interference in regional affairs, and military involvement, Pakistan is wary of American visitors, and the situation remains volatile, particularly in border regions. Number 13. Turkey. Despite being a NATO ally, Turkey's relationship with the US has soured in recent years due to disagreements over Syria, the Kurdish question, and political interference. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's government has expressed anti-Western rhetoric, and Americans traveling in Turkey may face heightened scrutiny and hostility, particularly in politically sensitive regions. Number 14. Sudan. Sudan is another country where ongoing conflict and political instability make it dangerous for American travelers. With internal power struggles, and animosity towards US foreign policy in the region, particularly its support for Israel and involvement in nearby countries, Americans are often viewed with suspicion, making Sudan a hostile environment. Number 15. Saudi Arabia. While Saudi Arabia has close economic ties with the US, cultural and political differences continue to cause friction. In recent years, US criticism of Saudi Arabia's human rights record, especially after the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, has strained relations. While not outright banning Americans, the country's strict laws, surveillance, and cultural restrictions make it less welcoming for American tourists than it once was. So, while the world is full of incredible places to explore, some countries have built walls, whether physical or political, that make it difficult, or even dangerous, for Americans to visit. These complex relationships are often rooted in historical grievances, political disagreements, and years of tense diplomacy. Hopefully, with time, some of these doors will reopen. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more eye-opening content from World Tour. Stay safe and see you in next video.